Hey, Doc. So times have changed and so have communication patterns. Research indicates, and my experience proves, that if you only give people a phone number to call for a new appointment, you're going to get a lot less response. You're actually going to have your response rate is going to be down by a ton over time. And this may be something you're experiencing already. And I'm going to give you in this video the solution to that. And it's all based on my experience with more than 100 offices across the country where we monitor response rates like minute by minute, hour by hour, okay? My name is John Nesbitt with the Customer Factory, and I'm covering today one of the chapters out of my book, which is 16 Rules for Facebook Marketing Success for Chiropractors. It's a book, and this is chapter 10. Actually, this comes from chapter 10. It covers all these other different points that you need to know to be successful with Facebook marketing, all right? So let me just sort of get into this. If your website is not working like it used to, you put your website up way back maybe a few years ago and it was working great, you get phone calls off the website, hey, this is great, and it seems like it's gotten quieter now, it's not as active as it is, or maybe the website's gotten busier, but it's still the same number of calls, like you've done a bunch of work on it to make it better, and it's not producing better results, or you've been running the same ads for a while, you run the same ads in print or something like that, and the ads are the same ads to the same people, but they're not getting the same response they used to get, right? It's kind of infuriating, kind of frustrating to like, what is going on? How come these aren't working so well? Okay, there could be a lot of reasons this is happening, but one kind of common thing that I see is use of just using a phone number as your only response method for somebody when they come to your website or when they're looking at your ad, especially on your website, because most of the time your ad will send them to a website if they don't call, right? So in your advertising, you might direct people to your site, but on your site, if you only have a phone number, that's a little bit more daunting for most people than it used to be. I mean, everybody's got their iPhones now and their smartphones and stuff, and we forget that these things actually can be used as telephones, right? They're mostly texting devices and messaging devices and surfing the web devices and things like that. And people have become vastly more attuned to want to be interacted with it that way. So when they come to your website, they actually want a web form or something to fill out. They don't necessarily want to call, even if it's the middle of the day, when they should just call. The easiest thing in the world would be for them just to call in, talk to your front desk, schedule an appointment, and be in there, right? But, that's a little tougher. It takes a little more frontage, a little more, you got to talk to somebody. You got to talk to somebody I don't know, right? They just want to fill out a form and have you text or email them back or even call them back. They'd rather have it on their own terms like that in a funny sort of way. So you want to have web forms on your site. If you just have an email, you're just getting email guys. So if you just have a phone number, you have just a phone number guys. If you have, if you have a web form, they fill out their form on there and hit submit, and it comes to you, and then you contact them back. Now, when you contact them back, don't just call. A lot of people won't take calls from people who aren't already a contact in their phone. Whoops. Even when they just asked you to call 5 minutes ago, they're like, I don't know this number, I'm going to let it go to voicemail, and then they never check their voicemail, right? What you want to do is be calling back for sure, but you also want to be texting them as well and emailing if they gave you their email address. All three ways. You're never sure which way they want to communicate. And actually, the data I've seen now, I told you I was going to tell you from the experience from the 100 different offices that we have experience with, 60 to 70% of the leads that we generate from a web page of people who want to inquire about setting an appointment, 60 to 70% are from the web form. Even when there's a phone number big as life up there, right? And I'm talking about even during the day. All times a day, 60 or 70% of people would prefer just fill the thing out and have you contact them back, right? Now, of course, that means 30% or so, 40% will actually call you, which are the good ones. Those guys are actually usually more highly motivated. So I actually usually count a phone call as a slightly better quality indicator on somebody asking for an appointment. However, it's not always the case. Sometimes the person's just doing it at work. They would do it kind of quick and they want to get on the phone, right? And they want to then have a text conversation with you. And that brings us to the second point. When you're responding back to them, don't just be calling the inquiries back to appoint them, because they may not want to communicate via phone. They might want to communicate or prefer communicating via text or even email. So you've got to call and text, and if they give you an email address, email them too. All three of those ways is the way you maximize your line of communication with people there, right? So if you just got a phone number alone, you're missing out on the guys. I'm not saying you're missing a ton, but you are missing some. Because some people go, oh God, there's no way to text this guy. There's no way to web form this guy. Okay, fine, I'll call him, I guess so. But that's any kind of resistance you put on this line lowers the amount of response rate you get. Now, there's one other point I want to bring up on this, and it's automation. Over automation is probably the better word. It's okay to have an automatic response go via text or via email. It's okay to have certain things happen like that. It's when you over automate this kind of response system. Remember, this new patient is deciding whether they want you to be their doctor or not. Do they trust you for healthcare? And the research I've done shows that one of the top two reasons, the top reasons that people choose you one doctor over another. I did a whole research. Why do you choose one doctor over another one? And one of the top reasons was friendliness. Friendliness. So if you've got an automatic chat box and sending text messages that automatic this and automatic that, if they get even the slightest whiff that that's not a real person, you've got a problem. It will drop off your response rates. And even then, I don't know. Anyway, I would tell you, you need to take advantage of this first line of communication with them. The first time you're texting them, the first time you're emailing them, to as quickly get them to a live phone call or a live set of communication as possible. You can have automated stuff like send out questions and things, but as soon as they answer, you better start being a live, real person with them right there. Because if they smell that you're not real, that's some automated bot or some kind of thing that they're doing, I've not yet met the artificial intelligence system yet that can really fool people. It's like they can tell. It's kind of like with stock photographs. You just know when you're looking at a stock photograph. Okay, you just sort of know when you're talking to a bot. It's just sort of, it's just not real, right? Anyway, so don't over automate. Definitely use automation where you should, but once you've got a live person there, don't automate a live communication with a person. Always pick it up with somebody who's real and have them have it, and that'll start creating that relationship. Because remember, that beginning relationship with them is the one that determines whether they ultimately close for care. If you frame the relationship as a friendly, personal thing, come on and we'll take care of you, yeah, we have, you're basically giving them all the reasons that they need to trust you and to find you as a source of true help, then by the time they actually show up in the office and you do your report of findings and things, they'll be much more enamored and much more likely to close. If you start off with, well, you're just sort of a number, we have this big automated system, you didn't really talk to anybody till the day you walked in the front door, that's not really a great way to start that relationship, okay? Now, as I mentioned, what I just told you came from my book, 16 Rules for Facebook Marketing Success for Chiropractors. And basically, I cover a whole bunch of other topics in that book. I have a way for you to get a copy of that book for free right now. We've got an electronic copy. It's about 20 pages long, this book, and it's an executive summary kind of. It gives you an overview of the entire picture of what it takes to run a successful Facebook marketing company, Facebook marketing campaign for your business, right, for your company. So the idea is that you can take this and it sort of gives you the parameters. It's not every nitty-bitty detail, but it's all the big stuff you have to know, just like what I just told you just now. So hopefully you find that useful, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye.